Hi, I'm Dawn.
Today, sometimes you'll say you're Rain.
Oh, fuck. I'm Rain.
Dawn Rain.
No.
And this is Raven Wind.
See? I've been spending too much time on my other Facebook page. Now I don't
Yeah.
know who the hell I am anymore.
I don't think it matters at this point.
No, everybody knows me. Everybody that listens almost.
Yeah, like
knows
I
me.
think the only thing they don't know is your legit legal middle name. Oh, maybe they do. I don't know. This is Ravenwind. You're listening to the Feather and Bone podcast. Two witches talking about everything witchy and nothing at all.
When I said my name, you're just looking at me
I'm just
like
is that who we are today? Fuck if I know what's going on.
Today I'm Hermione Granger.
Okay.
Can you remember that? Hermione?
Yeah. No. I mean, I can remember, like, because I love Harry Potter, but to call you Hermione, no. I might call you Sally. At this point in the podcast, I've called you everything but what I'm legit supposed to call you for the podcast.
That's true.
So today, we haven't done a lesson podcast in a while because it took me a while to write this lesson.
I'm not going to pick on her, guys, because I don't help with these lessons at all. I'm not going to say a word.
So she's like, there's going to be grammar errors because I don't help with them at all.
So I'm not going to say anything to her because I know she'd be like, well, bitch, you could write a lesson.
Yeah. So because it's been such a long time since we went over the lessons, I thought I would do just a real quick, spot on what they've covered so far. Now, you can find the lessons on the website, of course. It's featherandbone.net under the lesson section. You're going to find the lessons under the lesson section. So lesson 1 was really like just about us and how, we kind of started, our coven and how our thought process on magic evolved. And it talks a little bit about, I like to call it like the changing event, like when we left that other group.
Yeah.
So, we never use the other group's name on the podcast, but if you want to get the full skinny and all the details, it is in lesson 1. You can go and get the full information there. You just
can't help yourself, can you?
I can't help it. They suck so much monkey dick. Like, it's not even funny, but moving along.
You look so proud of yourself.
I really am. There's some brief history of the witchcraft. Wow. And when I say brief, I mean brief because I covered like 4 or 5 of the main players. The notable people, because the history of witchcraft, like instead of writing a lesson, I would have to do a whole fucking book. And
we can't get you to finish the one you're writing now.
Hey! You need to go read some of my books before you really do. That if there's one thing in this friendship that I don't...
She's going to mention this every time, guys.
If there's one thing in this friendship, because we have a unique friendship. Like, we
discovered our friendship. It's a twin flame.
We discovered that our friendship, you can look it up, and it's a twin flame friendship.
God help us.
God help us. But anyway, you have not, that's the only thing, is that you have not read my books. And one of the first things that I talked to you about when I was like, hey, I'm Bev, get to know me, was like, I write books.
I thought we talked about pie.
Okay, maybe the second thing. The first thing was pie. There was pie involved. Not mathematical pie, because math sucks, but like actual cherry pie. But anyway.
I'm trying not to say much.
You're fine.
Screw it up.
You're fine. But Carrie's read my books. And she's not even my best friend.
Oh, there you go.
And she would tell you that they're great. Anyway.
Hey, I read the Black Dagger Brotherhood books because you told me to.
Okay, but that was a service. Like, that's a public service.
How?
Me telling you to read that was a public service.
How?
Because it's the best fucking series ever. I just finished the new book. I won't give any spoilers. I don't care what you say.
Well, you know who else loves the Black Dagger Brotherhood?
Who?
That group of people that you talk about hating and despising.
Do they?
Yeah! I got bombarded. Like, you guys ganged up on me one day in class.
I think it's because I made them read it.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway. So, there's the basics of witchcraft is also in that lesson 1. What it is, what it's not, some history in it. Talks about the Reed and the American Council of Witches, like all of that stuff. And of course, there's our definition of the meta witch that we coined and made, and that's a person who makes the metaphysical tangible. And it's a witch that believes that everything in the universe is energy.
Yes.
So that was lesson 1.
That was her sneeze. And now everybody around the world's going to hear it.
Oh my goodness. You make fun of my sneeze. Anyway.
Hey, mine sound like I'm dying. So.
They really do. Lesson 2 was on energy. Just energy in general. Lesson 3 had tools and whatnot. Different things. Now, guys, in lesson 3, there is an extensive list of herbs and their uses. So, if you want if you don't care how we practice magic, you don't want to do, you don't agree with it, whatever, at least go to lesson 3 and get that list of herbs. Now, I didn't put that list together. I stole it from a website, but I did list the source in the lesson. What?
You're just in some kind of way today.
I'm just listen, everything that I pull that's not mine, that doesn't come directly out of my brain, I do list where I got it. Because that's what you do when it's copyrighted. And I'm not selling the lessons, they're free. So I'm breaking no copyright, I'm quoting my source, where I got it.
So you're just trying to not get sued.
Exactly. But lesson 3 has that extensive list, okay? And then lesson 4 was how to cast a circle and all of that. So that brings us up to today, which is lesson 5. And it took a while for me to write it.
Like half a year.
No, not half a year. We can go look at the last the podcast with lesson 4. It's probably been maybe 2 months. A month and a half, 2 months.
I'd say longer.
Well, we'll have to find out later. Whoever is wrong buys the pizza today.
Oh, God.
Just saying. So, lesson 5 is on writing spells and rituals. Ooh. Now, I'll say this, that the reason it took so long was because the way that you and I write spells and do spell work is very simple. And it's just the quickest, easiest thing ever. But we've both had training in the not so quick and not so easy way of writing spells.
I wish all my ex-boyfriends had training in the not so quick.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. So as I was writing this, I was like, well, I should probably put in that other stuff because, I think that the reason that we're able to do just really quick, simple spells is that we've reached a point with our magic that we have total faith in it.
Yeah.
So we don't have to build up the energy as much, because that's what you're doing when you're putting all of these other things and making it so involved. You're putting more of your energy into it and adding more and more to it. You and I, we just know it's going to happen. It just happened. Yesterday, I was so fed up. I haven't been getting any calls on the network.
Are you going to tell him?
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I haven't been getting any calls on the network, and I'm getting really frustrated. And Dawn's over here making bank. It's ridiculous how much fucking money she's making, and I'm just I don't understand what's happening.
But I think that's because I've set the intention to be able to support myself.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
I did magic for it.
You did magic for it, and now I've done magic as well. But the difference is, I really don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had this, like when I'm home, I want to just be Bev. And I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to vegetate. So for me to sign on to the network and have like my life interrupted to read tarot, like it really was, I mean, I was getting depressed and everything.
I like a lot of the people I get to meet.
Well, see, but I think because I'm so empathic, and up until this point, my day job has always been dealing with people who have a lot of issues, emotional issues, mental issues, social issues. So like when I got home, I wanted to completely disconnect from everything. So now when I'm working the network, that's coming into my fucking house. So while I want to make money doing that, I resent the fact that it's interrupting my me time.
You're just weird.
I am. So I did magic for it, but it wasn't working because I really didn't want it.
Yeah.
I was very conflicted with it. So last night I had tried to make myself some chicken dumplings.
Guys, this was an epic failure. It was catastrophic. She was so pissed.
They were, because I've been craving them for a while. And when you live alone, there's just certain things you can't fix because there's no way to make a single serving. It just doesn't come out as the same. Well, I tried to make a single serving of chicken and dumplings. It was horrible. It was nasty. It was inedible. Like the dog wouldn't even eat it. Like yeah. Nyota had nothing to do with it.
You're kidding.
Right.
That's bad.
So I was pissed off. I was so angry. I was no longer hungry. All I ate last night was an apple. And that's because I started feeling shaky. And I was like, I should eat something. But anyway, so I'm so pissed off. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck my life. Fuck this house. Fuck hunger. I don't care.
Fuck.
And I was like, I'm not signing on to the network. I'm not getting calls anyway. Why am I going to waste my time? And Dawn, Rain over here.
I'm like an unusually upbeat and happy person.
Yeah.
And it drives her crazy.
Yeah. She's like, well, if you sign on, you at least have the opportunity and the chance to make some money.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you don't, you'll never know. So I'm like, all right. I said, I'm going to sign in.
She's going to prove a point.
And I was like, and when I don't get a goddamn call, I said, I'm going to blame you. I wasn't signed in. I was not signed in. Not even 5 minutes.
No.
And I ended up getting a 20-minute reading.
Yeah.
So, because she's over here wanting to prove, the universe listened to her and was like, I got you. I got you. So yeah, I don't know. So then
she was mad at me for being right.
Yeah, I was in some sort of way last night.
God damn Rain making me make money.
But I don't know. So we've reached a point with our magic where literally our thoughts manifest. Like we're not really even having to do all of the steps anymore.
Yeah.
My aversion has kept the calls away. Yeah. Her wanting to prove, herself right. But I will say this, I only got that one call.
And it was while I was on the phone.
Yeah. So anyway, take that how you will.
I just want to throw in, it's been my lifelong dream since I was a little kid to get to do readings for a living. Yeah. So I really put it out there to the universe.
Yeah. And it's happening for you.
It really is. Yeah. I love doing readings.
Like even your husband was walking through the den last night. He's like, hey babe, you making us some money?
I love getting to do readings.
Yeah. I love doing readings when I'm not at home. Like at festivals and stuff. I mean, I love it. I'd love it if we had a metaphysical shop, like an actual location.
See, I like reading from home.
Oh, see, I don't. Mine. It's like in Ghostbusters where you can't cross the lines, like the beams. My professional and my home, I don't like for them to. I don't like for those to mix at all.
Well, and another thing I'm liking is 90% of the calls I'm getting are people that are going through shit that I've already been through.
Yeah.
And I'm not only able to read for them, but I'm able to give them experienced advice.
Yeah.
And
hashtag relatable.
So I'm really happy.
Okay.
And like you.
Well, I'll get there. So for this lesson, the websites that I used, I want to say we, she had shit to do with anything.
It. I'm too busy working from home.
witchesofthecraft.com, wicaliving.com, themagicalcat.com.
What?
Yeah. darkgoddessmusings.blogspot.com. And then I've never say this right. What's the company that makes all the books? The Lilith?
No.
LLEWELLYN.
Llewellyn.
Yeah, those people.com. So that's where I pulled this information from. Oh, and I'll get to it when we get there, but I did pull some information from that group that we left.
Oh my God.
Hey, like I said,
you just can't help yourself.
No, you give credit where credit is due. Okay? And I did pull some stuff from them, so I'm going to say it. So, according to Witches of the Craft, a lot of the times the terms spell and ritual are used interchangeably. A spell does tend to be a less formal kind of magic, usually cast for a specific purpose or need. The energies are raised and then released so that they will bounce back to activate the purpose of the spell, which has been represented by a symbol, which is usually like your candle or you burning the paper, like whatever you did during that spell is the symbol of what you want to manifest.
The toilet paper you wipe your ass with?
Yeah, that's a spell.
That's my favorite spell.
You if you have someone that is just you want to shit on and you want to flush them out of your life and get rid of them, you write their name on a piece of toilet paper. The next time you take a healthy dump, you wipe with it and then flush them down the toilet. In contrast, a ritual is based on a more general or long-lasting focus. A ritual may be carried out at specific times. The first day of spring to celebrate the birth of a baby, those kind of things. A ritual, even in natural magic, follows a more structured format. What is more, whereas a spell builds up to a climax and release of energy, the ritual may release energy more evenly throughout the weeks and months ahead.
I disagree with that.
Go ahead. You can't just say you disagree and then move on. Like you got, you're like inaccurate.
It's saying that doing a whole ritual will make your magic last longer. Is basically what that just said.
I think if you write that into the ritual, like just doing it itself, but like if the intent of the ritual is to like let's say you're doing a spring ritual, and that from that point into summer you're going to see things grow in your life. Then that's the cycle that it will take if you set that intent.
But you could do that without a ritual.
You could. You and I don't do a lot of ritual.
No.
We just do spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So spells. And I said that I'd like to start out this lesson by saying that writing your own spells does not have to be a long and drawn out complicated thing. Let's say I have a need for a job promotion. You can write something as simple as, I will get the job promotion at work. My will be done. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
So mote it be. Read while lighting a candle and then burn the paper off of the flame from that candle you just lit and bam, that's a spell. For me, this is how I do most of my spell work. Sometimes I will write a more complicated spell with more parts to it. It just depends on the need and the time that I have to get it done. Now I do use the example of a job promotion through the entire lesson because I wanted people to see our real quick, simple way of doing it and then incorporating everything else that we talk about, through this lesson into a more complicated spell. So that's the example that we use.
Understood.
You're like 10-4.
Because I have no idea what she's going to say. I haven't even read the lesson.
She's learning the lesson as you guys are learning the lesson. She's like, yes, that's actually accurate. As always with magic, the more you put into it, the more you believe it, the more energy that you focus to your task, the better your results will be.
And when she says the more you put into it, that means like the time you take to prepare.
Yeah.
Like while you're holding a candle in your hand, rubbing oil on it or something, that's putting more intention into it. Writing the spell is putting intention. Every step you're taking, and right up to reading it, is putting more intention into your spell. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Look at you. On a note of surprise.
I participated.
I've been practicing magic for a long time. So I can draw on and focus energy to my will pretty much without the fanfare of all of that. By adding things like herbs and plants, color correspondences, using stones, anointing oils, days of the week, planetary hours, moon cycles, rhyming your words, like all of that, working all of those things into your spell will add energy, to focus on the task at hand. So we're going to work through these different aspects and, like I said before, use that example.
And like, guys, when we have, we've done money magic more than once. Now, the one time we did money magic, where we did the spell, I think we repeated it 3 times.
Yeah.
We read it 3 times each night from one moon to the next.
Yeah.
And we would clap our hands and we'd bang on the drum and everything. Now, we had shit explode.
Yeah.
We had mirrors crack. So, you can raise a hell of a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Or you can just keep it simple and dirty.
Yeah, and a lot of times when we do money, like I'm not going to give all the steps of what we do for money magic, but a lot of times we will sacrifice money. Like we'll burn actual money because if you're not willing to let it go, it won't come back.
And every time you say to me, we should burn some money, I'm always like,
what? But when we burned that money, the flames were green. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Because we had coated them with so much shit.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't some magical like green flame. That money, by the time because every single day we were adding the ingredients of the spell on top of this money. Yeah. So by the time we burned it, it was pretty saturated with different things, and so that's why it burned. It wasn't some magical event. It was like whatever the chemicals compound that had ended up being created by this caused the flame to.
We're lucky we didn't die from fumes.
I know, but it was great. So as I said earlier in lesson 3, there is a list of different herbs and plants. So from that list, I went down through and I found that kava kava is something that you can carry for success and job promotion. So then I was like, okay, because you and I are real big on like use what is available. Like don't feel like you have to go buy this obscure expensive herb that you may only use once or whatever. So I was like, okay, so kava kava, where can I find some kava kava?
Where can you find that?
Walmart.
Are you sure it's not kava kava?
It may be kava kava. You know me.
Well, I really don't know.
It's Kava Kava. So you might say kava kava or you might say kava kava. I don't know. Regardless, you can get it at health food stores in Walmart.
Because that's definitely not in the health food category.
It comes in capsule form. So it comes in cap because it's a supplement. So instead of buying the herb and like paying, going to an apothecary or something or ordering off the internet and getting this herb, I would just buy the supplement. Now you want to look at the ingredients and make sure that that's all that's in it. And Walmart actually does sell one that is just that ingredient. It's just
even researched that?
I did. I'm telling you, I can't.
See, you're alone too much.
Well, I like my alone time and I like attention to detail. So what I would do is just buy a bottle of that, open the capsule, and then use that powder that's inside. And I also will note that kava 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 whatever
kava kava
kava kava. It promotes restful sleep, can curb cravings,
whoa,
improve digestive health, and reduce inflammation.
Hold up.
Yeah.
It reduces cravings?
Yes. So after your spell work, you have a useful supplement to take.
We need to try this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling you. See? You wouldn't know unless I got crazy
You are crazy.
You wouldn't know that. So, you're welcome.
Oh my God.
So, so that kind of comes back to like what you and I were saying about, find what's available. And if that wasn't available and didn't have, more uses, I probably wouldn't use that. I would find something else. So the next thing is color correspondences. I
thought you were going to say colored greens.
I hate colored greens.
I'm tired.
I can tell.
Oh, it just hit me all of a sudden. It's this chair. Look at me. I'm over
your fabulous new Papasan chair.
Yes.
We have been trying to get you a Papasan chair for months. And I was in Walmart, like, shopping, as one does. And they had them, because you and I went there to get them several times. Now, This is like it's not one of those folding ones. Like, it's a great big, expensive.
Like, I could curl up in it.
Yeah, comfy chair. And you and I went there to get it, and they were gone. So I was in there, and I saw it, and I was like, immediately I called you on my way home. And I was like, they have the chair. So, but no, not color greens. Core. Oh my God. It's contagious. Color correspondences can also add to your magic. While there are lists out there that will tell you popular color correspondences, I always like to point out that if something doesn't feel right to you and it doesn't make sense to you, you need to do whatever feels right to you. Like a good example is money. Like color correspondence for money is green.
Money feels good for me.
A popular color correspondence for money is green, but what if for some strange fucking reason, for me, money is red?
In other countries,
well,
it's not green.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, you would use whatever color correspondence makes sense to you. So I would want to use red because that would speak to me. I did include...
Wait, what?
Color correspondences. Like if I was...
You said red for money?
If it did.
Oh.
It doesn't. But see, you're playing a game and you're not paying attention. You're like the worst student ever.
But I'm already a high priestess.
Well, you're not paying attention to this lesson. You're not setting a good example.
Nobody can see me. Now you told on me.
No, what I was saying is that if green for money does not make sense to me and instead red does, I would want to use red because the whole point of adding those color correspondences is to add to the energy. And if all of a sudden in the middle of your spell, you're like, I don't know why I'm fucking using green, but okay.
You could use red and be like, red is for my love
of money. In the lesson, I did include just a real simple list of colors and the qualities and what they're used in magic for. We won't go through the whole list unless Rain wants to.
It's not that long. I mean,
okay.
Do we have enough time?
Well, we this is our podcast. We can make it however fucking long we want. And we're here early enough today. I don't think we'll forget to pick up the offspring.
I can't let that happen again.
Yeah, I know.
She was so upset.
Like, for days. She's like, I can't believe you forgot me. I had to walk home from the bus stop. And it's not a long walk. Like, no. It wasn't like you left her to walk, like, 20 minutes home or whatever.
She hates that kid that lives right here.
Yeah.
And she would have had to avoid him and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, it's maybe like a 5-minute walk from here to the bus stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. You're eating some Cheez-Its.
Oh, today I'm eating Cheez-It Grooves Sharp White Cheddar.
Quite crunchy.
Crunchy, you say?
Crunchy. So the colors we're going to talk about. Red. Usually stands for, like, usually the damn, that is like not spicy, but like
fucked you up.
It has it has a very powerful punch to it. The qualities are like passion, courage, strength, intense emotions. So you would want to use red.
Red is also grounding. Because it's your root chakra.
There you go. So you would want to use red for love, magic, physical energy, health, and willpower. Orange. The qualities of orange is energy, attraction, vitality, and stimulation.
I don't think I've ever seen any orange candles.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. Hey, buddy. It's a hell of a lot cheaper to buy white tea light candles. Even when you buy the colored tea light candles, they cost more than the white ones.
They do.
If I was going to really put color as an important step to my magic, I would probably honestly just get some food coloring and just drop a couple drops of the food coloring on top of my white candle.
Yeah.
That's how I would handle that. So for orange, used in magic, you can use it for
adaptability.
Yes, to sudden changes.
And I didn't even read it first.
You're like, I'm starting to be able to decipher when she can't say a word. Encouragement and power. Yellow, the qualities of yellow, intellect, inspiration, imagination, and knowledge. You would use this for magic, communication, confidence, divination, and study. Green has the qualities of abundance, growth, wealth, renewal, and balance.
And grass.
Yes, the grass is green. The magic that you would use green for would be prosperity magic, for employment, fertility, health, and good luck. Blue, the qualities of blue, peace, truth, wisdom, protection, and patience. I need to start wearing some fucking blue around rain. Used in magic, you would use it for healing, psychic ability, harmony in the home, and understanding. That's why a lot of times, like when you move into a new home, your witch friend may give you a blue candle. That's the significance of that. Violet.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, Asen gave me a blue candle when I first moved into the house over in Fayetteville.
Well, he didn't give me a blue candle when I bought my home.
I don't think he knew you bought a home until like.
Asen. I bought a house last year in May.
Yeah.
I would like a blue candle, please.
Okay.
You watch. He'll pull something.
Oh yeah, yeah. So violet, the qualities is let's see, spirituality, wisdom, devotion, peace, and idealism.
Do you mean purple?
Purple? No, violet. One day, I even forget what word it was at this point, but I think it was certainly. And instead of saying certainly, she's like, certainly.
And I think I was angry when I was saying it. Like I was bitching about something.
So now every time we have a word that we can use that kind of
Three Stooges.
Yeah, we do. But anyway. So for Violet, the magic would be divination, enhancing nurturing qualities, balancing sensitivity. White is the qualities of white would be like peace, innocence, illumination, purity. The type of magic would be cleansing, clarity, establishing order, spiritual growth, and understanding. Black, the qualities, dignity, force, stability, and protection. I'm thinking this list has to be from, I forget which website I got it from, but I bet it's a white lighter.
I was just gonna say it's a nice list.
It's a white lighter. For this one, you can use it for banishing and releasing negative energies, transformation, and enlightenment. Because for us, black, like we use that in curse work.
Bitch, gonna learn today.
Yeah, yeah. Silver, wisdom, psychic ability, intelligence, and memory.
The goddess.
That's not on the list, but the goddess. The magic that you could use silver in. Now, because these aren't like these are just colors. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be the candle itself. You could like wrap a piece of silver cloth around something. But for the magic would be spiritual development, psychic development, meditation, and warding off negativity.
Moon magic.
Moon magic. Gold.
The god.
The god.
And the sun.
And the sun. Cool. I hear her. She wants something to eat so bad. Qualities. Inner strength, self-realization, understanding, and intuition. So the type of magic that you would use the color gold in is success, health, ambition, finances, good fortune, and divination. Can you please just give that dog?
I was going to till he came in here.
Oh. You're like, they'll eat the whole box if I do that.
I will.
Brown, the qualities of brown is endurance, solidity, grounding, and strength.
Now, where's somebody going to find a brown candle?
But like I said, this isn't just candles. This is just color in general. Like, you could wrap some brown string around your candle. You could write your spell on brown paper. It's just using the color. Finding some way to add the color to your magic. The magic that you would want to use the color brown for is balance, concentration, material gain, home, and companion animals. Like if you were going to do a spell like to help one of your pets, you would want to use brown in some way, form or fashion.
I just don't like that.
Gray. The quality of the color gray is stability, contemplation, neutrality, and reserve. The magic that you would use gray, you just got this look. I'm just like, I'm moving on.
She's like, I'm just going to keep talking.
The magic that you would want to use gray in would be complex decisions, binding negative influences. Never bind. Never ever fucking bind. And in reaching compromise. Indigo. The color indigo. The qualities would be emotion, fluidity, insight, and expressiveness. So the magic that you would use indigo for would be meditation, clarity of purpose, spiritual healing, and self-mastery. She's the holding a laugh. Say it.
I didn't think you were going to say mastery.
What do you think I was going to say? Masturbation? Mm-hmm. Self-masturbation? It's always fun when you add a partner. And then the last color on here is pink. The qualities is affection, friendship, companionship, and spiritual healing. And you would use it in like romance magic, spiritual awakening, partnerships, and children's magic. Now, you and I, when we were part of that other group, were told that you should never use pink candles.
Correct.
And the meaning behind that was that because it's pink is a combination of white and red, that it's conflicting purposes.
Well, here's the thing. That list has gray on it too.
It does. Now they never mentioned gray in that group we were in, but here is where I started to lose a little bit of faith in what we were being taught in that other group. The girl that we both really strongly dislike.
Oh, okay. I was looking at you like, which one?
Yeah, she bought me a present for my birthday that was from Silver Ravenwolf. And it was one of Silver's candles. Handle was fucking pink.
Wait.
Yeah. I think I still have it at the house. How can you tell your students don't use pink candles in your work, but then you're going to sell pink candles to people that are following your magic? So, I don't know. That was my first instance, like, wait a minute. But anyway.
I had a lot of wait a minutes.
Well, there was. There was a lot. So, like, colors, herbs and plants, and stones also have, correspondences linked to them. Now, there's a lot of stones out there, and I mean a lot.
How many stones are there?
Enough that there's a whole fucking book on it. I don't work with stones myself. Like, I think everyone who's listened to the podcast, now you do. Like, you're the stone queen. You have you have some stone pillars around here that could legit kill somebody if they fell on them.
Yeah.
But a useful book to have if you want to make stones a part of your spell work is The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. You can find that on Amazon.
I cannot follow that book.
Yeah.
I have tried to follow that book. And, what's your name again?
Ravenwind.
She can follow the book.
Yeah.
I can't.
I can look up stuff and find. And it's just set up, because what you're doing is you're trying to look through the book.
Why isn't it in alphabetical order?
I don't know. What you need to do is go to the back of the book in the index, and you look up like whatever it is that you're wanting.
But here's the thing.
And then you find that in the book.
There aren't little pictures of. What if you don't know what the stone is called and you're just trying to identify a stone? I don't know.
There's pictures in it that you would have to then just go from page to page to page looking at the photos to find it.
I just have a hard time following that book. I'm sure most people can, but with the way my brain works, I can't.
Like, I think a good way that she should have set that book up, like what you were saying, like if you have a stone and you're trying to identify what it is, would be to group them by color. Uh-huh. And then you could be like, okay, this mystery stone.
And within each color, have them in alphabetical order.
Yeah. And then tell all the properties and everything of it at that point. But it's a good book. It does come in print and Kindle versions. So, it's on Amazon. The Magical Cat, that's one of the websites that we talked about, has a very extensive list of stone correspondences, which I did copy and paste into this lesson. So this is another one of those things that if you want, and I put her copyright at the bottom of it. I listed my source. That's where it come from. So there's a big long list. Now I'm not going to go through this list because it's long, and even her list, this long list that she provided, is not everything that's out there, but from the list, I could choose either, aventurine, citrine, or sunstone.
Or all three.
To aid in my job promotion spell. So, and I mean, literally, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3.
My God.
4, 5.5 pages of stones. And the reason I did that, because I decided to find some list of stones to put in the lesson, because I could say, yeah, go to Amazon and buy this book. But you and I have both been at a place in our magical learnings where we couldn't afford to get the things we wanted to learn. So I thought I would at least put, this is a list of the most common ones and what their uses are. So that is now available, if you want to get the lesson and pull that from the lesson. Another thing that is commonly used in spell work is anointing oils, sometimes referred to as spell oils. These are high quality carrier oils such as coconut oil, almond oil, and or avocado oil, just to name.
High quality H2O.
Yeah, just to name a few of the oils. And they have essential oils that have been added to them, dried herbs and plants. I mean, we've even seen them with like little chips of stone in them. Just whatever the person puts to make that particular spell oil.
Have you not seen The Water Boy?
I have. I tried to ignore it. Ignore it.
My day is complete.
Oh, God.
That's even how The Water Boy would have said.
I know. If you're making your own, oils, you can use the plant list from lesson 3 to pick out what botanical you want to use, or to help pick an essential oil that you would want to buy elsewhere. Now, I'll say this, if you're making the oils to store long term or to sell or anything, give as gifts, anything like that, you do want to use a high quality carrier oil, because otherwise it will sour and go bad and not smell good. But
I use grapeseed oil.
Yeah. What you can do if you're, you can use your vegetable oil If
you can get a big ass thing. It's a really big thing of grapeseed oil at Walmart in the cooking oil section for $7 and change.
Yeah. But if you're just wanting to use just a little bit to anoint your candle or whatever, and you don't want to go out and buy, or you can't, you don't have the option to go out and buy an actual
just spit on it.
spell oil, you can use vegetable oil.
You can just spit on your candle.
You could. You really could. That would work too. Oil of you.
Oil of myself.
But if you are going to actually make it, you do want to use some high quality carrier oil so that your ingredients, nothing spoils and goes bad.
What about baby oil?
No.
Why? She just stared at me. Why not?
Why would you?
It's cheap.
You just spit food everywhere.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
And that shit lasts forever.
Well, I'll tell you what. You look at the ingredient list on some baby oil and see what all is in that and how that might affect your magic.
I'll just tell it not to.
There you go. I wouldn't use baby oil.
Really?
I don't think I would.
I'm not going to be eating it.
No, but I don't know. I just don't know if I would want to use baby oil. It's a legit thing. We'll look it up later. But you
use suntan oil?
No. You add the ingredients. You add the ingredients of your oil, to your oil and let them set to infuse, and now you have your own spell oil. Now, when you do your oils, you actually have a ritual that you do.
Yes.
So that it sets the intent of that oil, because your oils are, specifically made for certain things.
I use my oils for what they're intended for.
Yeah. You can also buy oils that are for specific purposes.
She's going to kill me later, you guys.
I have quite a few oils that I've purchased from metaphysical shops. A little goes a long way. So don't balk at the prices of these oils. Like, by the time you look at the price of the carrier oil and then the ingredients that are going to go into it and the time that the witch has spent to create it, and you're looking at these little tiny bottles and you're thinking, I don't want to pay,
But you're just, that will, I've had some of my oils for as long as you've known me now.
Yeah.
Like, 4 years?
Yeah.
Just little tiny bottles.
Yeah. Because you're just using, you're not dousing your shit in it. Like, you can literally just take a Q-tip, stick it in the bottle, and then rub that on the candle. And that's all the oil you'll need. Mm-hmm. So, when you see, like, because that's a lot of people, when they see those prices on those oils, they're like, oh my, I'm not, the bottle's littler than my pinky, and I'm not going to spend $15 on that. Mm-hmm. But really, like, you're not going to spend $15 again for years.
Yeah.
So don't balk at the prices.
Unless you're Asen.
Oh, that
Asen
man
anoints the fuck out of some candles.
He's like, what is it like? What is that in like the Catholic Church? Like they have that.
No, he's like Oprah. You get some oil.
Yeah, you get some oil. Yeah, he's a little heavy-handed with his.
He cracks me up.
So like you were saying, I said in the lesson that I've had some of my oils for years and have only used half a bottle. For a job promotion, I would use my attraction oil and my crown of success oil. Those are the two that I would use. Astrology is another aspect that a lot of witches like to work into their spells.
Here we go, folks. Yep. You're about to see your eyes pop out.
I do on occasion, but honestly, most of the time when I work spells, I have an immediate need and I can't wait for all of the planets to line up, so to speak, Literally. So when adding astrology correspondences, there are several ways using the days of the week, moon phases, and planetary hours. Now, because when I had put on the Facebook group that, that this lesson was going to be finished and the planetary hours were happening, whichever one. Were. Oh, well, see, now you got me questioning when I'm right. Anyway.
It was plural.
Yeah,
so it's
Ben had Benjamin, Gwendolyn's fella, had, talked about how, like, he'll sit down and figure it out, and it's like, okay, according to this, I need to do my spell 2 months from now at 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. And,
that's not practical.
It's not practical. So, you and I, we do it when we need to. Now, there are things that if we have, like, some foresight into this is something that we want to work magic for, and we have a little bit of time, we'll say, okay, we'll wait till the new moon, we'll wait till the full moon, whatever. But that's just about as much planning as goes into ours. It's like, if we're going to do it on a full or a new, like that's about as much. Otherwise, we do magic when, like, we've been on the phone together talking, and we're like, let's do some magic right now. Mm-hmm. And we'll both get up and go.
We'll bust out a spell real quick.
Yeah, while we're on the phone with each other.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll do my thing, and I'll say, so mote it be, and she's over there, because so mote it be. And so, this is a good thing to know. Like, don't get me wrong. Knowing the planetary hours and what the planet's for, the days of the week and all of that, it's great to know, because if you are adding that into your magic, it really does add more and more energy. The days of the week each have a planet associated with them. And those planets determine what type of magic you should work on those days. And I did include a table of those days and the correspondences.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Monday, Monday is the moon.
You're ignoring me.
I really am. Monday is the moon. Purity, spirituality, honesty, spiritual cleansing, virtue, goodness, perfection, unity, lunar power, money, psychic ability, magic change, spirituality, and then invoking the goddess's aid and childbirth. Now, we have went over this before on a podcast.
What if you go into labor the day before?
I get to that.
Okay.
We did go over these in one of the other podcasts. This is the first time it's been in a lesson, but I know we went over this in a podcast, but we'll do it again. Tuesday is Mars. Physical energy, passion, strength, vitality, motivation, sexuality, movement, men's power, men's mysteries, anger, intensity, drive, ambition, and achievement.
Mars is an aggressive energy to work with.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to get some shit done.
Yeah. Tuesday's your day.
Yeah.
Wednesday is Mercury, and this is knowledge, communication, the arts, mental acuity, charm, confidence, change, adaptability, and acceptance. Thursday is Juniper.
What?
Juniper. Juniper. You're like, wait a minute, what planet is that?
You fucked me up for a minute.
Jupiter.
See, you need me.
I do. Luck, expansion, growth, honor, which you have no honor. Attainment, worldly power, influence, accomplishment, and fulfillment. Friday is the Friday in this table. They say it's Venus and the Earth. It's just Venus, as far as I'm aware.
I've never heard of anyone. In what I've always been taught, I've never heard of the Earth being used.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying it's not a thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know about it.
This and I'm wondering if they put the Earth in there because of the fertility aspect, like that's one of the things you can work because of Mother Earth.
Gaia.
Yeah. But it was a photo, so it wasn't like I could take that out of there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just Venus. Fertility, money, prosperity, healing, hope, women's power, women's mysteries, sharing, bonding, the arts, grace, charm, appeal, and goodness. Saturday is Saturn, the law, limitations, binding, holding, returning, stopping, ending, internalizing, dwindling, blocking, interrupting, loss, collection, changing, renewing, and transformation. That's Saturday. You could do a lot on Saturday. Actually, there's a lot on each of these. The last one is Sunday.
Domingo.
What planet goes with Sunday?
I don't know.
The sun.
I can't think anymore.
How could you not know that? Solar power, success.
What? Solar power comes from the sun?
No, its magical workings could be solar power. Success, personal empowerment, generosity, material wealth, immortality, spirituality, health, vitality, and invoking the gods' aid.
Speaking of that.
Yes.
That little sun jar you made that time that pissed me off.
Yep.
That was the coolest thing ever.
I know, isn't it? I still have mine. Do you have yours?
Somehow mine got broken.
Which part?
The solar part.
Oh, I can give you another one.
Another jar?
Another solar part.
Well, I didn't keep the jar. What's it?
What?
Mm-mm.
I painted it. I took the time.
Do you still have what I made that year?
Yeah.
Where is it? You don't even know what it is!
You gave me a candle in a little mason jar, and I think I still have it.
And it had peat moss in it?
Yeah.
And a little pine cone glued to it?
Yeah, and like a star made out of sticks.
Yes.
Yeah. See?
A pinnacle!
Well, yeah. I think I still have it. I'm not sure. I could make you another sun jar.
Thank you.
You know, we should try to make a bunch of those in Celebrate Beltane.
Every time you would make me a gift at one of our, like, ASIN's get-togethers.
Yeah.
I'd be all happy with my gift that I had for everybody, and then you'd fucking show up and start handing out your shit.
Sorry.
And I would be so mad.
I'm like, sorry.
I'm like, this is so cool. I hate you.
So my sun jar, just because now I know everyone's like, what the fuck is it? I took a mason jar and I painted the outside of it with like yellows and oranges and like, you know, not solid because the light needs to come through it. And then in the lid of it was a solar powered light like that you would have in your yard. So you would set it out in the sun all day to gather that sun's energy, and then you were able to actually bring solar energy into your home and
to do
magic with, and it looked like a little sun.
I used mine as a nightlight.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we can make more. I think I even have some more of those in my tub with all my craft supplies in it you were making fun of.
Guys, she's the biggest dork you'll meet in your life.
Because I was making that cat pillow. I made a cat pillow. I'll put a picture of it in the Facebook group. I think it's just on my private page, but and I'm sitting there like just out randomly. I'm like, I'm going to sew a cat pillow, and she's like, I want to know where you got like stuffing for a pillow at your house at like at night. And I'm like, I have a Tupperware tub that's full of craft supplies.
Random craft shit.
Anyway. But yeah, we'll make another one. So yeah. So for the job promotion, I would want to work my spell either on Tuesday for achievement, Thursday for attainment and accomplishment, or Sunday for success. So this is what we were talking, like when Ben was talking about how he will do his planetary hours and all of that, and like end up having to do it like a month or whatever from now. If you look at each of those days, you're going to be able to find places where you can make it work for your purpose. It all depends on how you word it. So you don't have to wait. Like you don't have to wait. You have to think like, how am I going to be able to word this to make it work on the day that I need it to? So let's see. So in a pinch, I could make, like I said, any day of the week fit my needs. For example, Wednesday, I could write a spell for promotion based on the acceptance aspect that Wednesday has. I would write a spell so that my employer would accept me for the promotion. While you would want to use the day that has the clearest correspondence, you could make any of these days work to your purpose, you know. So another thing is the moon cycle. That can really help and aid in your spell work.
I personally think it's much easier to just follow the moon cycle.
It is. It really is. Everything in the universe is energy, and the phases of the moon direct that energy either toward us or away from us. Depending on what your spell to accomplish, you would choose to work your spell either on the new moon, waxing moon, full moon, or waning moon.
Waning.
I knew I was going to get that wrong. You were waiting for it too, wasn't you?
Oh, God.
You was waiting. You was waiting.
I was...
You was waiting.
You were waiting.
You was waiting.
My God.
I'm from Webster County. You might as well get used to the fact. Okay, you know that actor from Webster County, the Josh Stewart?
Yeah.
His mom was my English teacher.
I need to call her.
No. You need to thank her. She did a lot of work. And she had this thing to where, like, if you said ain't. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she just about lost her mind. So you need to be happy that I rarely say the word ain't.
Have you noticed neither of my children say ain't?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So,
you sound like an ignorant person when you say it.
But here's the thing. You put me and how I talk against someone from, like, one of the more southern counties. I'm not going to call anybody out.
I will. Wyoming.
I sound like a goddamn genius.
Wyoming, they do have a real heavy twang, if you want to call it a twang.
Yeah.
That some words I hear my friends say from Wyoming County, I can't even understand them.
Yeah.
It's a completely different accent.
Yeah.
Down there.
Anyway. So for the moon phases, on the new moon, you want to work for beginnings. For the waxing, growth. Full moon is for fulfillment. And the is it waning?
Yes.
The waning moon is letting go. Now you were asking earlier about, like, you know, what if the full moon is so many days away, or I've missed it by a day.
Not saying, because you said that one day you one of the days of the week, you ask for help in childbirth.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what if you go into early labor the day before?
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe it's not exactly what you were talking about, but it's close.
Sure.
New moon. New moon magic can be done from the day of to 3.5 days after. Of course, this is for new beginnings, endeavors, relationships, positive changes, planting seeds, a time for optimism, hope, and faith. It's good for love, romance, health, and job hunting.
It's also for getting rid of shit.
Yes.
Out of your life.
A waxing moon. The waxing moon magic can be done from 7 to 14 days after the new moon. It's for growth, learning, action towards intention, accomplishments, creativity, healing, positive transformation. You can deepen your resolve, refine and improve, and then constructive magic. The full moon. Full moon magic can be done from 7 to 14.5 days after the new moon. Fulfillment, harvest, boost of energy for continued spell work. That's what it says. It says full moon magic can be done from 7 to 14.5 days after the new moon. So once you have your new moon, 7 days, you can start working full moon magic. Now, it's not going to be full strength full moon magic because it's not full yet. But that's when it starts getting into its fullness, is, 7 to 14.5 days. Fulfillment, harvest, boost of energy for continued spell work, achievement, protection, clarity, communication, letting realizations come to you, legal undertakings, money, and dreams. Now, you and I, with the full moon, we tend to think that, like, you can do full moon magic 3 days up to and 3 days after.
Well, that's what Asen taught me.
Yeah, and that's when it's going to be in its most potent form. That energy is 3 days before and 3 days after.
Or the day.
The day of is preferable.
You remember when we were on your front porch in the middle of the day?
Oh yeah, during that eclipse.
We did magic and your neighbors were all outside.
Yeah, because that's before I lived. Because that was when I lived over in Fayetteville, and I lived in a really nice neighborhood in Fayetteville. Like there was no crime. It was real quiet. Everyone had a job.
The biggest crime was people parking with their tires on the
road,
the street.
Yeah, as long as your tires were off of the hardtop, you were okay. So here, you and I were out on my front porch, and we're doing an eclipse spell, because it was the eclipse, it was the solar eclipse, and we had my cauldron out there with fucking flames flying everywhere.
Because I had 7 spells I did that day.
Yeah. And it was so funny.
It was great, guys.
We haven't practiced any magic outside at my Mount Hope residence yet. We might get shot. So then we have the waning moon.
The waning?
What the fuck is wrong with me? That came out so bad too.
The waning moon.
My nose is getting stopped up.
Do you need an allergy pill?
I might need a tissue. That magic can be done from 3.5 to 10.5 days after the full moon. This is for letting go, cleansing, breaking habits, releasing negativity, making space, opening up to the new and unknown, expressing newfound truths, seeding the next cycle, and returning to stillness. Whew.
God, did she gain weight or something?
I don't know. The dog was walking and she's the tiniest little Shih Tzu.
She's a miniature Shih Tzu.
Yeah, so she's walking and the floor's creaking like she's the big dog. I don't know. So from that description, we could really work for a job promotion on any moon phase, even the waning phase. Oh, I can't. Just let me say it.
But it's wrong.
It just comes out.
You need to draw a straight line over all the A's.
Waning.
Waning.
So you could even do it under that one. And each phase has what I like to call a buffer period where the energies of that phase are still in play. So if you miss the exact moment of a new or full moon, you still have some time to tap into it. The new moon is the most obvious for what we're for a promotion, as it's for new beginnings. But in the waxing phase, we would be working toward an accomplishment and positive transformation. Under the full moon, we would be working for fulfillment and achievement. And under the waning moon, that would allow us to work for letting go of our previous position and opening up to the new and unknown position.
You could also work for a whatever the hell it's called, promotion under a waxing moon, because that would brings gain into your life, and you're wanting to gain something. Yeah,
and that's I have in here for the waxing phase. We would be working toward an accomplishment and positive transformation.
That's right. I know some stuff.
Yeah, so and that's another thing that you and I always like to say. It doesn't really matter when you do your magic.
Just do your magic.
You can make it work for anything. So now, planetary hours.
Guys, you have no idea what she went through with this part of the lesson.
Full disclosure, most of this next part I pulled from the information that I received from my time with the Black Forest tradition.
Here's the fucked up part, we got on the phone after she was close to being done with this, and when she told me she was doing planetary hours for the lesson, I was like, oh, do you just want to copy the planetary hour pages I already did out of my notebook from Asen's classes? And she's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. But most of this next part is word for word from what I pulled from what the material I got from the Black Forest tradition. Though I have changed some parts of it to make it flow better and, to be honest, make more sense. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Knowledge learned is knowledge earned. So I'm going to use what I have. Planetary hours, it's not something that the Black Forest tradition made up, or something that is specific to their tradition. But I am going to say that I did, this was written by somebody else.
And I'll just there are apps and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's in here.
And you don't have to use the planetary hours. But again, we were talking about earlier how the more work you do, preparing for your spell puts more intention into it. And figuring out your planetary hours is one of those things.
And let me tell you, it's a job and a half. So yeah, you're going to fucking bring some energy.
You're going to be doing it like 2 weeks ahead of time, trying to figure it out.
Jesus fucking Christ. So, the days are divided into 24 planetary hours, with the first hour of the day beginning at sunrise and the last hour of the day ending at sunrise for the next planetary day. So it goes from sunrise to sunrise. That period that extends from sunrise to sunset is called the daylight half, and that's divided into 12 hours. And then the next half, which is from sunset to the next sunrise, is the nighttime hours. And that's also divided into 12 hours, which gives you a total of 24 planetary hours in a planetary day. However, the term hour does not necessarily mean 60 minutes. It's actually rare if you're sitting down and you're doing your planetary hours. It's rare for it to work out to 60 minutes. An hour, when you're telling time, like on a clock, yeah, it's 60 minutes to an hour. But when you're looking at planetary hours, it's not. Your planetary hours are specific to your exact location. So in order to calculate your planetary hours, you're going to need to know the sunrise and the sunset for your area. You can get this from your local forecast, online. I use the Weather Channel app.
I was just going to say the Weather Channel.
Yeah, I use the Weather Channel app to tell me, and with that one you can go, because you're going to have to know the sunrise of the next day. So with that, you can just go to the next day and look what the sunrise is.
Yeah.
So, the math. The dreaded math.
I can't believe you're covering this in the podcast.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to fucking do it. So, the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out how many minutes there will be between your sunrise and your sunset, because we're just doing that first 12-hour period. You have to do, 12 at a time. So, for example, let's say that the sunrise is at 6 a.m. and the sunset is at 8 p.m. There would be 840 minutes of daylight in that first 12-hour period. So, 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. is 14 hours, and there are 60 minutes in a standard hour.
Oh my God.
So you do 14 times 60, 14 hours times 60 is 840. Now, if you can go online and look at the lesson and follow along while I'm reading this, it'd probably be better.
I'm over here holding my head.
So remember, there's 24 hours in a day, 12 for the daylight and 12 for the nighttime. We are working on the first half from sunrise to sunset. So you divide that number we just got, 100, why do I keep saying 100? 840 by 12 to get the number of minutes in each planetary hour. So 840 divided by 12 is 70. So each planetary hour in our example would be 70 minutes long. If you get a decimal, you're going to round up or down accordingly. There may be an approximate 2-minute discrepancy, in your timing due to rounding. So don't freak out. If you look at, if you go through this and you do from your sunrise to your sunset, and you're like, holy fuck, my sunset is 2 minutes off, don't worry about it. That's okay. It's going to happen. So divide your day hours into planetary hours using the minutes as your guide. So hour 1 in our example of 6 a.m., from 6 a.m. would be 6 a.m. to 7:10 a.m. for a total of 7 minutes. So then hour 2 would be from 7:10 to 8:20. And so on and so forth until you reach down to your 12-hour time. So we're going to repeat that process between sunset and sunrise of the next day to figure out your nighttime planetary hours. So now that you have all of those figured out, so what I do is and I have an example in the lesson, is I'll number 1 through 12, and then I'll number 1 through 12. And then our example started at 6 a.m. So I would put 6 a.m. up on number 1 for the first planetary hour. And then it would go from 6 a.m. to 7:10 a.m. would be our first. So then on the number 2, I would put from 7:10 a.m. to 8:20, because that's another 70 minutes. And so on and so forth. Now, when you get done with the first 12, then you have to go from the sunset time until the sunrise of the next day and do it that way. So now that you have all the hours figured out, it's time to assign each hour its corresponding planet. You will always start off the first hour under the planet that corresponds to the day you're on. Now remember, there's a chart previously in the lesson that tells you what day is assigned to which planet. In our example, if it was a Tuesday, the starting planet for hour 1 would be Mars, because Tuesday is Mars. Then each hour is assigned a planet, and the planets are always in this order: Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun. Since our first hour was Mars, then we would go Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, like wherever you start off. Like if you start off on Monday, the Moon, then the next hour would be Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, and it just keeps repeating in that pattern.
I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting triggered.
Yeah, you're getting triggered?
Yeah.
So, and I included an example. I said below is an example using an actual day and actual times. And I put in big caps across the bottom of the page. Now remember, I hate math. I suck at math. This is accurate to the best of my ability. I have a learning disorder that makes math nearly impossible. So if there are problems in this calculation and it is not correct, get off my areola. I can't help it. Okay.
You just wanted to say areola.
Areola.
Get off my areola. Who sings that again?
I'd have to look it up. I forget. I'd forget. So I used yesterday, which was, I used Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday. I used Saturday, April.
Yesterday wasn't Sunday.
I've lost days. I don't know what day it is. Today's Tuesday. Hey, we need to see if we got paid.
Yeah.
If we're going to get paid. So I used Saturday, April 6, 2019. The sunrise time was 7:02 a.m. and the sunset was 7:52. So 7:02 a.m. to 7:52 p.m. is 12 hours and 50 minutes long. So I'm going to multiply 12 by 60 and add the 50 minutes, which gives me a total of 770 minutes. 770 minutes divided by 12 was 64.16. So I rounded down and just used 64 minutes for one planetary hour. So because this was a Saturday, my planet started with Saturn. So it went Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus. Okay.
I don't know if I can handle this.
I'm not going to go through every individual time. So now we'll do the nighttime hours for Saturday. Sunset was at 7:52, and then Sunday, the following day, the sunrise was at 7:01. So from 7:52 p.m. to 7:01 a.m. was 11 hours and 9 minutes. 11 times 60 plus 9 is 669 minutes. 669 minutes divided by 12 is 55.75. I'm going to round up and use 56 minutes in one planetary hour. So we're still on, I think I might have done that wrong.
Don't worry about it.
I may not be correct, but what I did is I continued because I think that's what I did. Yeah, okay, this is what it is. So at the last hour during the daylight hours was a Venus hour. So because it ended at 7:50 and then this is my nighttime at 7:50, I started on Venus again. I think that's correct. It may not be. I don't know. But I cycled them again. Is it not correct? I would have to start again on Saturn because it's Saturday.
Let's see your paper. We're on the second part?
Yeah. Because wouldn't you start with the planet that you stopped on
Like the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that is correctamundo.
My God.
Sorry. You'll notice that in each calculation, there is a couple minute difference between the actual time of sunrise and sunset because of the rounding that we did. It doesn't matter which planet your final hour ends in. When you start your calculations for the next day, the planets start in whatever planet rules that day. In this example, we ended in Jupiter, which is Thursday, but the next day is actually Sunday. So when we would start tomorrow's calculations, we would start in the planet, the sun. The reason you want to know which hour corresponds with which planet is because if you cannot work magic on the day that best suits your needs, you can work magic in the planet's hour and get the same effect. If you can match up the day and the hour, that will give you even more energy for your workings. Below are some examples, and I'm saying below because I'm reading it, of things that you can work towards according to the planetary hour. So the hour of the sun is for career success, employment, promotion, making presentations, public speaking, improving social status, approaching authority figures, and improving health. For the moon, it's for doing things that are likely to change or are not intended to be permanent or binding, for increased intuition or imagination, and for all domestic activities. For Mercury, the abstract thinking, mental alertness, speaking, signing papers, sending significant mail, fixing computer problems.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
What?
Or in general, for any activity related to communication, provided that you're in the frame of mind to be logical and rational. Mercury can be a trickster when you are mentally fogged or emotionally upset. So if you're coming at your magic from like a place of being really upset or confused, you probably want to steer clear of all Mercury correspondences, days of the week and hours. The hour of Venus is for social occasions, love, courtship, marriage, improving appearance, for financial investments, to reconcile after a disagreement, to mediate a dispute, to achieve calm after stress, and to work for peace. Mars is good for activities that require muscular exertion, boldness, courage, and active enterprise. When your feelings are in check, caution is needed if you are angry or stressed, and especially if a relationship is involved, because Mars can be confrontational.
Yeah.
For Jupiter, or Juniper, as I said earlier, for Jupiter, for success in just about any activity you can imagine, you would want to work in Jupiter. And for beginning anything important, the only downside would be a tendency to overindulge or have excess in a factor. So then the last one is Saturn. You want to use Saturn for getting organized, plowing through tedious work, breaking unwanted habits, accepting and dealing with responsibilities, and for contemplation or meditation, especially if you find yourself feeling tired and needing a respite from activity. And I don't know why this made me, when it talked about plowing through tedious work, when I drove up your driveway.
Yeah.
And I saw where your husband's been out there working. Mm-hmm. He has one of those fucking carts we were talking about that we need to pull our stuff in.
That thing's heavy.
Is it heavy? Oh, okay.
It was my ex-husband's.
Oh! Never mind.
That's why I did not offer it.
Oh, okay. Now, because of the issues that I have with math, I used 2 different websites to help me with my planetary hours today. The first one was to figure out how many hours and minutes are between sunrise and sunset. I just couldn't do it. My numeral dyslexia, my dyscalculia would not allow me to do it. So that website is planetcalc.com, planetcalc.com. And then the next one was one that I used to help me add the minutes to the time so that I could figure out the hour. Because that's another problem that I have. Like even when we're doing our when we're trying to track our units for work, because each unit is 1 15-minute increment. Anything that is over an hour, which would be 4 units, I have a hard time with. I have a clock on a piece of paper that I have to use to help me count that up.
I've often wondered how many times one of us might have been overpaid and the other one underpaid because of your math issue.
Well, here's the thing with that. Like, whatever numbers you give me gets plugged in to a formula that the state provided.
But the thing is, do you know you're plugging them in the right order?
I double check. Yeah. I check and double check. Yeah. Now, mine, I'm never really sure because I do, like, you give me your numbers and I put them in. Mm-hmm. And, like, here's my process when I'm putting yours in. Like, let's say you had 8 units. I'll say out loud, 8 units. And I'll go and I'll type in 8. And then I look back at your paper, 8 units. And then I look back at the thing, 8. You know. Now, mine, where I have to figure mine up to begin with, I might be shortchanging myself.
I bet you are.
You know, but who knows? Here's a website that you can use. And what you do with this one, like, let's say, like in the example was 70 minutes. Like if the time was like 8:52 and I want to add 70 minutes to that, that would make my head explode. So you can put 8:52.
That's the part of the Planetary Hours that makes it suck.
Yeah. On this website, you can put 8:52. Now, you do have to know military time. Like, if it was 8 p.m., you would have to use the corresponding military time. But you could put 8:52, and then you add 70 minutes, and it'll tell you your new time. And that made it easy. And that's calculator.net, the time calculator on that one. But there's even more good news. There's apps for this. That's right. Free apps. There's free apps out there that will tell you the hours and you don't have to do any of that work. Boom. Life solved. Is that a crocheted Bowser turtle shell cover for a turtle?
Yes.
That is put that in the Feather and Bone group so people can see that. That's amazing.
I'm on my regular. I'll send it to you.
Send it to me and then I'll tag me in it and then I'll do it.
I'll send it in Messenger.
Okay. But yeah, there's apps out there, and there's free ones, there's paid ones, there's apps out there that will tell you exactly what the hours are, and you just put in your location, and then they give it to you.
Or you could just call up Ben.
Yeah. He's like, I can tell you when to do it 2 months from now. So now let's use our example of trying to get a promotion and add in all of the correspondences we just talked about. To make a complicated and more involved spell. We'll even write a rhyming spell this time. In lesson 4, we talked about creating sacred space and casting a circle. You can do that for this if you want, but not every spell needs that preparation. Okay. So for this big...
we gave up on trying to write rhyming spells because I'll try to say that shit rhymes that does not rhyme at all.
She's like, no, cow does rhyme with goose. And I'm like, no.
I'm like, not... it does when you say it like this, and I'll say it some weird way.
And I'm like, yeah, no, that doesn't work. Not at all.
I remember. Never mind.
Now, there are websites out there that will help you find words that rhyme. So if you wanted to make sure all your stuff rhymed, you could do that.
Unless you're like me and are internet deficient.
Oh, yeah. So for this spell, and now remember, because as we went through and we talked about all the different correspondences, I said, for the job promotion, I would use this. So for this one, you will need the Kava Kava, a green tea light candle, an adventuring gemstone, attraction oil, crown of success oil, and paper. If you want to add, and paper.
You say all these crazy things like, and paper.
If you want to add more color correspondences, you can use green paper as well. You would want to do this on the new moon. And if you're lucky and the new moon is falling on a Sunday, that would be even better. But if it's not the new moon, you would want to do it on a Sunday and in the planetary hour under the sun. So imagine if you were lucky and the planets did align just right to where it was a new moon on a Sunday and you could do it in the hour of the sun. Mm. Like that's what we're talking about. That's what all of these allow you to do and add that punch. The new moon is the best time to do this spell. Remember, you can work new moon magic from the day of to 3.5 days later. So you do have some wiggle room. If you can't wait for the new moon, you would want to do this spell on a Sunday. If you can do this spell on a Sunday within that new moon energy, all the better. You will need to do planetary hours to find out what hour falls on the sun and do the spell on one of those hours. So then you're going to write your spell on the paper. And this is the little rhyming spell that I come up with. A reward for my hard work is due. I have been honest and true. I demand that I get a promotion. My magic will set this in motion. So mote it be.
So mote it be. You could have used lotion.
I don't know how I would work lotion into a job promotion unless that's how I'm getting it. And I'm giving my boss a little some, you know.
Depends on who the boss is.
It really does. So you're going to take the candle and the aventurine in your hand, and you're going to think about the promotion that you want. Now, when we talk about when you think about it, like, you need to really see it and imagine what it'll look like. Like, imagine yourself getting up and getting ready. Imagine walking into your new office, like having, like, whatever would entail that promotion. You need to really see that in your mind's eye. Imagine yourself getting it and what it will look like, all of that. So then you're going to rub oil on the candle. You just need some on a Q-tip will do. We're using 2 oils in this one. So you would just use the other end of the Q-tip for the other oil.
If you have to tell them that, they probably shouldn't be lighting candles.
I'm just saying. You're going to apply the oil in a clockwise direction to draw what you want towards you. You can also add oil to your spell paper if you want. Again, just a little will do. Then you're going to take some of your kava, whatever it is. And if you bought the capsule, you just break that open and sprinkle it on top of your candle. While you light the candle, read your spell paper out loud. You can do this once or 3 times, however many times, whatever feels right to you. After you've read the spell, light the paper on the fire from the candle, and then you'll let the candle burn out until it goes out. And then you can carry the stone with you until you get the promotion. And that's it. You're done. That's it.
You're not going to tell them where to put the stone?
Well, you could carry it in your pocket. You could put it in your wallet. Just however, it depends on what size it is, The magic that we worked when we got that big amount of money, remember we had worked magic after the fact because it comes so out of the blue and out of nowhere that, like, you and I were both like, what if they try to take it back? Yeah. So I still to this day have the magic spell that we wrote for me to retain that in my wallet. And when I get a new wallet, I transfer it. I don't let it touch anything but the new wallet. I transfer it from one into the other.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, but you can carry, like, wherever you want to carry the stone. If you want to keep it in your pocket. A lot of times, like when we went and got those stones at the Googly Moogly, they had those round jewelry pendants that you can pop your stone into. Mm-hmm. You could wear it on a necklace, like anything, anything you wanted to do. Anything. You could put it in your vagina for all I care.
I was thinking butthole.
Well, why? At least vagina would come out easier.
Hey, some people might have a stretched out butthole.
I'm telling you. So speaking of the magic, both of these methods would work for me. The simple or the more complicated. They would both work for me. So that was spells. And why it took me so long to get it done, because there was a lot of information. Now we're going to talk about rituals.
There's more!
Because we're not done! Now, the ritual part isn't as, complicated. You've already seen examples of rituals in Lesson 4. Creating sacred space and casting a circle are 2 examples of rituals. These are done exactly the same way every time you do them, and their purpose doesn't change. Rituals can be written to honor gods and goddesses, holidays, marriages, full moons, birthdays, protection, basically anything that you want to mark in the same way time and again. Rituals can be long and complicated, or they can be short and simple. That's up to the witch and what it's to be used for. I found a ritual online that is both for the goddess Morrigan and the spring equinox. And I found that on Dark Goddess Musings.
Does she go along with the spring equinox?
This person was able to write a ritual for that.
Huh.
This is a ritual that someone who follows the Morrigan would do every year for the spring equinox. And I have it. You will need a large stone or rock, preferably one from your own property.
I have to pee.
Let's pause it.
3 hours later.
We needed a bathroom break. Now I won't read.
Would you like some chocolate?
You have chocolate?
I
do! I won't read through the entire ritual, but you will need a large stone or rock, a sword or an athame, a spearhead.
What? A spearhead?
I have a spearhead rock, like a stone that's shaped like a spearhead. So yeah.
Don't hold that, it'll melt.
I'm laying it down. You would need a crown, or whatever symbol you wish to use to represent sovereignty. Yes, that word. And a cup of mead. Or,
a cup of what?
A cup of mead, or apple juice as a substitute if you're an alcoholic.
Where the fuck are you gonna get mead?
You can buy mead. DJ brought mead to the house that night for New Year's.
DJ also special ordered fucking peanut butter.
Yeah, he did like special order peanut butter. Like you couldn't even buy one jar from this place. Like you had to buy like 12 jars at a time. Anyway. I mean chocolate. So she talks about casting a circle. It's caramel, so now it's stuck to my teeth. Casting a circle to create sacred space in whatever way you prefer. And when you're ready, you stand in the center of the circle. And she has, now, I'm probably going to say it wrong. You would say, from the 4 cities of the Tuatha learned the art of magic and came upon perfect wisdom. With them, they brought a sword, a stone, a cauldron of worth, and a spear for the making of heroes. You would hold up your athame, your sword, whatever you have, toward the east, and then place it in the eastern quarter of the altar, saying, here is the bright sword of, however you say that, Nwada.
I think we're losing you.
Yeah. No one ever escaped the hand that held it. Hold up the spear toward the south and then place it on the southern quarter of the altar, saying, here is the spear of Lu. No battle was ever won against it. Hold up the cauldron toward the west and then place it on the western quarter of the altar, saying, here is the cauldron of the Dagda. No host ever left it unsatisfied. Hold up the stone toward the north and place it in the center of the altar. You will be working primarily with this item and saying, here is the Leaf, whatever, of the Morrigan. It never spoke save when a king or queen was upon it. Stand with your hands upraised. Blah, blah, blah. So basically she has this, I'm like, I'm not, you could go into the lesson. I'm not reading all of this. It gets more complicated.
I gave her some chocolate and she's just done.
No, look, I mean, because look, here's like a whole other page of just me not able to pronounce a lot of very Irish sounding words. So yeah, so that was one. Okay.
I was just picturing somebody trying to lift a big ass cauldron up and hold it up to the sky.
Yeah, well, and I think that they had a cup that was supposed to symbolize the cauldron. Like, if you don't have a cauldron, you can use whatever something to symbolize it.
Do you think anybody is still listening to the podcast at this point?
Yes. I do.
You do?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay. And then you have, so some people have rituals that they do at every full moon. They can be for protection, money, fulfillment. Oh, I took a bite of chocolate. Hang on. It's delicious.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Dove.
Yes. Jesus. Oh, it was on the wrapper, wasn't it? I was going to say, how the hell did you know what it was just from throwing it in your mouth?
It's written on the wrapper.
She's upset, you guys.
Yeah.
She wanted to order our pizza during our pee break, and I said, I don't think we should have pizza. And now it fucked her up. Now she can't
really
even read.
It really did. I'm like, I'll just get one on my own. Below, below, because I'm reading. I wrote a full moon ritual for this lesson. You would do this every month on the full moon because it's a full moon ritual.
You don't say.
It's a full moon protection ritual. You will need a white tea light candle, a sage bundle, dragon's blood incense.
Yes.
1 cup of sea salt, a basin with 6 cups of warm water. And then you're going to want to have a cup, and when I say 6 cups of warm water, like, let's say you're using just a plastic drinking glass, 6 of those, not sexual, because that's a word. 6 actual measuring cups of water. You want whatever you're going to be using to pour the water in your ritual is what you want to use to get your 6 cups of water. A bathtub.
What?
A bathtub.
You need a bathtub?
Yes. Or if you have privacy, you can do this outside under the full moon. Okay. So you want to have the warm water and salt, because you're going to be mixing the salt in your warm water. Have the warm water and salt mixture on a table along with a lighter, sage, candle, and incense. Take off all your clothes. Light the sage and run the smoke over your body, starting at your feet and working your way up to your head. You're going to say the following words. My feet will take me away from danger. My legs will carry me from an ill-will stranger. My heart will sense what my brain cannot, protect me from an evil plot. My tongue will chase away those who mean me harm. My brain will heed my heart's alarm. So you're going to say that while you're saging yourself from your feet to your head. And then you're going to step into your bathtub. If you're outside, you just start the next part.
Because your bathtub's totally in the yard.
No. If you have privacy and you could do this outside, you don't need the bathtub's just to keep you from getting water everywhere. Because I don't want you to have to clean up a mess after you do the ritual.
How come all of these spells you give examples of involve
water
and fucking bathtubs? What is the deal?
So, if you are inside, you're going to step into your bathtub and you're going to pour the water over your body, starting at your head, and working your way down your body. While saying the following words. You're going to match up the lines that you're saying with the body part that's mentioned. And you do this until you're out of water. By ones, I cleanse my crown in earth and water, salt and sea protect me. By 2, I cleanse my breath in earth and water, salt and sea protect me. By 3, I cleanse my feet in earth and water, salt and sea protect me. So you're going to keep doing that over and over until you have no more water left in your basin. When done, you're going to step out of the bathtub, or if you're already outside, you just continue right on to the next part. You light the candle and say the following words. By fire, I create a burning ring of protection, a barrier to send harm in another direction. Then you're going to light the incense and say the following words. By air, I create a gale of protection, a storm to send harm in another direction. By earth, water, fire, and air, protection I declare. As my will be done, so mote it be. And then you're going to let the candle and the incense burn out on their own. So that's a full moon protection ritual. You would do that every full moon in the same way every single month to keep yourself protected. Here's another ritual.
Can I just say?
Sure.
I'm never going to do that.
I've never done that either. I wrote it for this lesson.
Wait, you wrote that?
Yeah. I wrote it for the lesson because they needed an example of a ritual. So here's another ritual that I wrote for this lesson that you would do on Yule. Okay. I wanted to give a couple examples of rituals. You'll notice that this one's a lot shorter and much more simple than the one that I previously just talked about. This is the Yule ritual to welcome back the sun. You will need some black cloth, just big enough to wrap a flashlight in. Black velvet would probably work best. And then a small flashlight. That's the dose things you need for this ritual.
You should have been in theater.
Why?
You're very theatrical.
We've talked about this in other podcasts. Most witches are very theatrical. That's why we do the things that we do.
Not moi.
So you're going to turn on the flashlight and wrap it in the cloth. You want to focus as much of the cloth as possible over the light to try to keep it from shining through. Turn off all the lights in your area and make it dark. Now, if you have to have some soft lighting, that's okay. You want it to be mostly dark, though. You will say the following words as you uncover the light. Darkness has ruled these past months, but now the light is coming back to us. Winter's cold grip will soon come to an end because the light is coming back to us again. Let the light continue to shine all night until the next morning. So that's it. It's simple, and yet, when you're thinking about...
You gotta let your flashlight burn out?
All night. I'm gonna let it burn all night or until the batteries are dead. If it's still on in the morning, I'll turn it off in the morning. It's just batteries. Because you're welcoming back the sun. The flashlight is a representation of the sun. I've done something similar to this.
Am I making you uncomfortable?
No. I've done something similar to this with the sun jar that we were talking about earlier. And I let the sun jar go all night. But I didn't want to...
You can't stop the sun jar.
Well, but...
Because it's solar.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't... Because I wanted it to show like a real short, simple... Because like the Morrigan ritual was very long and very drawn out. So then the next one was shorter and simpler. And now this is like the easiest ritual that you could do. I wanted to give them 3 examples. And if I told them about the sun jar, I'd have to explain how to make a sun jar, where to get the stuff to make the sun jar. Like it would not have been simple. So, it can be really simple or it can be complicated, just like with spells, with your rituals. It all depends on what you want to do and how much energy you feel is needed, to make all of that happen. Do you have an example of a ritual, or are you just going to keep judging me?
I just wouldn't do one.
You've done rituals. We did a ritual.
I wouldn't
of course,
do
I
one
wrote
to welcome
that.
the
I
have never written a ritual.
I was like, we did a ritual for your daughter when she started her period.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, wait a minute, I wrote that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we did a ritual for remember that day we made the man with like out of the bread dough.
You made the man with the bread.
As I said, like all the rituals and everything we've ever done, I'm the one that led that charge.
I'd probably light some incense.
Yeah.
And light a candle.
I'll tell you what I've always wanted to do for Yule, but I've never done because of my cats. And I wanted to get every single candle that I could possibly get and light them all. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But my cats would knock them over and the house would burn down.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. So the last little thing for this lesson is talking about keeping track of your spells and rituals. Now, we don't write them down or anything like that, but it is a good idea to keep record of your spells and rituals. Some people call it a book of shadows. Other people call it how do you say it? A grimoire?
Grimoire.
You're
still not saying
whatever you call it. Its purpose is so that you can remember what spells you've done and when, what ingredients you used, what you did that brought success, or what you may need to do differently if you didn't get the intended results.
Just believe in it.
It helps with a lot of rituals, if you're going to be doing the same things over and over again a certain time of year. To have something that you can turn back and look at it. And
if I could turn back time.
Oh, do you ever see that episode of Will and Grace?
No.
Where it was actual Cher?
No.
And then what's the one gay guy that's like really over the top? He's like Karen's best friend.
I don't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either. But he was convinced that it was a Cher impersonator, and he was like, I'm much better at impersonating. And he goes, no, it's Tyoma. Tyoma. It was great. And, but anyway, so, just having something that you can keep track of what you've done, especially if you're new and you're starting out and, you want to write that stuff down.
Back once upon a time, I had every intention of writing stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I have yet to record anything.
Yeah. Well, and I think even in the group, I had posted a video of that really fancy Book of Shadows that I started.
Yeah.
And then never got anywhere else with it.
Yeah.
And, I still have it. I spent a lot of money to get it to where it's at, so I'm not going to...
You worked really hard on that.
Yeah, I'm not going to trash it, but, yeah, you and I are both the same in that respect.
We're lazy.
So, and it's so funny, because at the end of this lesson, I said the homework assignment, if you want to do it. Because I don't really give a lot of homework assignments. I'm just like, you know what, this is your path. If you want to do this, do it. If not, whatever. Pick something in your life that you want to change and write a complex spell for it. Find the planetary hours, the whole shebang. And remember to be very specific with what you want. The more specific, the better. So that was lesson 5, guys.
I'm not okay. I feel dizzy.
I'm telling you that's why it took so long to write that lesson, because there's just so much.
I think that could have been 3 lessons.
It really could have, but now it's done, and you and I need to discuss what the next lesson will be.
Now she's going to wait 6 months before she does another one.
No, we need to discuss what the next lesson will be so that I can start figuring out what we're going to do it on. So, but I think that's it. Oh, we're losing her. So you can find us on Facebook, Feather and Bone. If you search Feather and Bone, there's going to be a couple that pops up. We're the one that it's a white picture with a black antler and feathers. We also have a website. That would probably be the easiest way to get to our Facebook group, is to go to the website, featherandbone.net. There's a link on there that will take you to the Facebook group. It'll also take you to our podcast. And the lessons are on there. Our shop is on there if you want to buy tarot readings from us. We need to do another tarot giveaway. I'm going to put that on the Facebook group today. And we'll do...
I don't know when we'd be able to do it, though.
Well, we can we'll do it. We'll put it out there, and then whoever wins, we'll get with them and figure out when. Like that we did with Fallon's, where we record it. Not actually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll whoever wins, we'll work it out with them and we'll get it done. Even if I have to come over in the middle of the night.
Oh God.
Well, we'll figure it out. But that we'll put that out there. We haven't done that in a while. But yeah, you can purchase our tarot readings. We also have some products and stuff like that. We are gearing up for Beltane in the Forest. That is not very far away. We are going to be there. We actually got our location. We were told where we're going to be. Of course, it happens in the Coonskin Park in Charleston, West Virginia. When you get up to our little area that we've rented for the fair, the road that leads up into the little glen that we're in, we're going to be like right there. When you first come up, we're near the bathrooms and the food. So we're happy with our location. But we're going to be there. We're going to be doing tarot readings. We also have a lot of product that we're going to be bringing. Now, when I said we have stuff that we've made that we're going to be bringing, but we also have just some like home decor and stuff like that. Witchy themed home things. I'm going to do a video soon where I lay everything out on my bed and show you guys what we're bringing, so that you can be prepared. We are going to be able to take PayPal at that event. We have a PayPal Me set up for that. And
is that what it's called?
PayPal, yeah, PayPal Me. You set it up.
You're the one that know what it is.
Yeah, you're the one that set it up.
That's scary.
So, and we are also going to be doing Feather and Bone. We'll be doing the opening ritual for Beltane in the Forest this year. We're really excited that Asen asked us to be a part of that.
Would it be Coven of the Wildwood?
Well, it's because that was seeing this. What makes me mad about you sometimes?
What'd I do?
Because it's Coven of the Wildwood.
That's our coven.
That's our coven. But you were like, I don't want everybody to know about it. So we changed everything online and everything to Feather and Bone. So now people know us as Feather and Bone.
Yeah.
So Coven of the Wildwood will be doing the ritual, but it is us. It's Feather and Bone. Feather and Bone is the name of our metaphysical enterprise. And the coven is Coven of the Wildwood, but either way, it's us. So we're excited about Beltane to get that going. And then, of course, I think the next big festival after that would be Pagan Pride.
Are you going to Pagan Pride?
We are not going to be vendors or anything like that at Pagan Pride. If I don't see why we shouldn't, it depends on work and stuff like that, and your family situation, and if we go to Pagan Pride, it's going to be to have fun, mm-hmm. and to be part of the community and to enjoy ourselves instead of working an event. We're hoping that Teresa and Carrie will put together another psychic fair at the Heyman House. That was really fun.
I hope the Magnificent O is at Pagan Pride.
He is. He's going to be there. And it's not the Magnificent O.
What is it?
It's the Optimist.
Why do I keep calling him that?
I don't know. Every time, and what's funny is I correct you on it every single time. You said the Magnificent O so many times that I know who you're talking about.
He is an off the hook good.
He is
reader.
And it's so funny because I had received the tarot reading from him at the last Pagan Pride, and he saw that shenanigans that was coming up with Travis, with my ex. He saw it, and he knew, and this was what I liked about him. He was able to pick up on the fact that I would not want to hear it, and I wasn't going to believe it even if he told me.
I believed it.
So he just kind of looked at us. He's like, listen, he's like, you don't want to hear it, so I'm not going to tell you. He's like, but it's not going to work. It's not going to last. Mm-hmm. It's going to get very bumpy very soon. Mm-hmm. Enjoy what time you have now is basically what he said. But yeah, he was great. I mean, he was really great.
He's a really good reader.
He is going to be there. I saw on their website, on the Facebook group that
The
Magnificent O, the Optimist.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
Asen is going to be reading at Pagan Pride.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is also going to be a vendor. So, we'll just go and enjoy being part of the community instead of, catering to the community in that sense. So I think that's it. I think that's, as far as announcements and all that kind of stuff goes. I know that, if you're wanting to do ghost hunts and things like that, the Heyman House, they are doing ghost hunts pretty much year round. I mean, yeah. They schedule them out and everything, and I really like that because it seems like every time Halloween would roll around and I would want to do something like that, I would never have the money to do it.
Yeah.
So the fact that they offer it, they're doing them right now. They've got an open sign up right now for spots, and you get an overnight. Now the prices may change. I'm recording this, so it could change. But as of right now, this moment, I believe that they said that it was $30 per person for an overnight ghost hunt.
It's from like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah. It's quite a bit of time. Mm-hmm. So you can find them on the internet as well. And I think if you just search on Facebook, Heyman House in Sutton, I think it'll pop up. I'll talk to Carrie and Teresa and see if we can put a link to them on our website so that people can find them easily as well. So check them out. They're awesome. Just some, kind of paranormal stuff that's going on in the community. And I think that's it. I think that's all the announcements. And
I don't know what's happening.
You just want to go?
Yeah.
Do you want to do our sign off?
Yeah.
Remember, it's magic, motherfuckers.